Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to quickly give you an update of some of my plants that live in my bedroom. So this is a southern exposed window. So some of these plants are getting direct sun, but most of the plants in here are just getting dappled sun in the afternoon. So let's see. Right here, this is my Hoya Kerrii Variegata, and it hasn't really grown too much since I got it. I think I've had it for about 2 years. These are 2 leaves that developed outside during the summer. This is also a new leaf. If you've had difficulty getting your Hoya Kerrii Variegata to grow, I would recommend putting it outside during the summer because that is where I've had the most success growing leaves. And I did have a little success growing them inside, but usually they would just die off. Like they would grow and then they would, for some reason, not do well, and they would just like fall off the plant. So definitely keep yours outside if you're able to during like the warmer months, and keep it in bright and direct light. So over here on this table, I keep my humidifier, and then I keep my Hoya Caudata right next to it because I know this plant enjoys more of like a humid type of environment. And it's doing really well. Since I got it, I think it's only lost about 1 leaf. And that's to be expected if you're ordering a plant online. Don't be worried if it loses some leaves. That's totally normal. This plant was from Florida, so it's coming from a region that is very humid and hot and sunny to New England in Massachusetts. So these conditions are a lot different compared to where it came from that had more ideal conditions for this plant. But it is absolutely beautiful, and I am interested in purchasing a few different varieties of Hoya Caudata because I like this one so much and it seems to be doing really well. And I do really think it enjoys being near my humidifier, since this is a plant that really enjoys a humid environment. And then next to Hoya Caudata, we have Hoya Mathilde that I've had for a few years, and it seems to really enjoy this location. So I used to keep it in my window. It was at first in my eastern window, so it only got morning sun. And then I moved it to my southern window, and it seemed like it was getting too much sun considering the leaves were kind of turning yellow. Or not yellow, they were like a light green. I think this plant was receiving too much sun being directly in the window, and since I've moved it here, it actually has started to put out new growth. So right there are 2 new leaves. They're super tiny. And there's also new growth right there. But I would just say overall, this plant seems a lot happier getting less sun and also being next to the humidifier. And in addition, I noticed that this plant was super dusty because it was in a macrame planter, like a macrame little hanging contraption, and I wasn't easily able to remove it from that, so I never really washed it off. So I put it in the shower, I gave it a good rinse to get all the dust off of the leaves, and it seems to have responded really well to that. It's very important to make sure your leaves aren't dusty because that will interfere with photosynthesis, and that is obviously crucial to the health and growth of your plant. So definitely make sure your leaves are clean and not super dusty because that is not good. But the splash is absolutely beautiful on this. So I recently made an update video on my Monstera Tie Constellation, and it seems to really like this southern exposure. I actually did chop off a lot of the browning that was happening right there. A lot of the white variegation had turned brown, so I chopped that off. But yeah, this plant seems to really enjoy the bright light, the added humidity, and I also am using filtered water for all of my plants. I actually have a Brita that I use just for my plants. Oh, and let me show you the new leaf. That is really exciting to see. You can see there's a lot of variegation on it, so I cannot wait to see this. If you're interested in learning how I prevented this plant from continuing to brown, I'll link that video in the description and in the top right corner if you want pointers, because this plant was browning a lot and it was very frustrating. It seemed like every single time I checked on it, it was there were more brown spots. But since I've moved it here and changed all of those conditions, it has done very well, and I haven't noticed any additional browning, so that is really good news. So my Hoya Bella is doing well. I did chop it back a little bit to make propagations, but it seems super healthy, and it seems to like this location. It gets a lot of bright indirect light. And how cute is this planter? I just love it. The potter is Unearth Wonder. She does absolutely beautiful with her pottery. Like, she's so talented. And her link is also in my description. Not sponsored, but I would love to be. But she is just amazing. I love to support local artists that just are so talented, and they deserve recognition. So over on this shelf, this is right near the southern window. I have Hoya Fitchii that is doing well, an Easter cactus. Here's an update on my Hoya Endauensis. So I honestly am not thrilled with the condition of this plant. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the leaves are super dehydrated because this plant requires a lot of humidity. So honestly, I might cave and buy grow lights and put a humidity box under the grow lights just to keep this alive during the winter. And then in the summer, I can put it back outside in my humidity box. So I will keep you posted if I decide to do that. I've never had a humidity container inside. Well, I have. I did it last year, but I haven't done it during the whole winter. But I honestly might do that to keep this alive. That's my Hoya Hindu rope. Has some new growth that looks really happy and healthy. This didn't grow for like a year, so finally it's putting out new growth. Here's my Hoya Rotundiflora. I actually got a comment today and someone said the leaves look like a little platypus, and I thought that was so funny. I looked up a platypus because I couldn't like picture what they look like in my head, and it really does have the shape of a platypus. Like, that's so hilarious. And I did have to remove one of the stems from this pot because the roots were dead. So I decided to propagate those pieces, and I will let you know how that goes and how the propagations do. I'm propagating it in soil, moss, and water. So very exciting experiments happening in my house. And that's one of the reasons why I love plants, to experiment and learn from each other. So, oh, I love this plant so much. It's my favorite. This is a spring cactus. It looks super healthy. I bought this plant last spring. It did have thrip, which I was able to get rid of and treat, and I haven't noticed anything since. And that's his little pot. I love this pot because it reminds me of like ice cream melting down a cone. I think the white part is just so cool. And this is also another pot from Unearth Wonder. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. I love it. So over on this table, I have a few different types of Hoya. Big surprise, mostly Hoya in this room, in my bedroom. So this is Hoya Pottsii Chiang Mai. And I have noticed some peduncles on it, which I'm so excited to see. So right there is the first peduncle. And there's Kona watching me. And there is the second peduncle. I've had this plant for, I think, a year and a half or so. And it has taken that long to produce peduncles. So sometimes with Hoyas, in order to get them to flower, you need to be patient because it sometimes requires an older plant and the right conditions to produce flowers and peduncles. So you gotta stay patient. This is my Hoya Meliflua, who of course is doing absolutely nothing. This plant only grows for me when I keep it outside. But my fingers are crossed that at some point I'll be able to get this to go into bloom. I just want to show you, I do have some yellowing leaves at the bottom. Totally normal. That's a natural part of the life cycle of your plant. If it has yellowing leaves towards the older growth points, which in this case is towards the bottom of the plant. So these leaves are older, it's totally normal for them to die, and I would only be worried about yellowing if it's the newer growth. So That's totally normal. This is Hoya Australis Lisa. I did notice a new growth point right there. All right, so that's a new growth point. It's really hard to see, it's super tiny. But this plant really seems to like this type of sun exposure. It does get some direct sun during the day, but I do live in a climate that has weaker sun, and it is the winter, so this plant is able to handle more sun during the winter. And honestly, I think I kept it in my southern window all summer too, but it's not like, it's kind of below the windowsill, so it's not getting extremely strong sun. Here's the Hoya Callistophylla shortleaf, and this is one of the Hoyas that I ordered from AH Hoya, and it's doing really well. It's kind of hard to show you, it's a little bit dark. So it does have a peduncle right in the middle of it there, and it did have buds that were forming, but unfortunately they did fall off. So I might have to wait until the summer or spring to actually get some flowers on this. This plant is absolutely stunning. And I just love the veining on the leaves. It is so beautiful. I just feel so lucky to have these plants in my house. Like, I don't take it for granted at all that I am able to have these and enjoy them. They really do bring me so much happiness, and I just love caring for just living things. I love, oh, sorry if the audio is just weird. Yeah, I just love caring for my dogs and my plants and just nurturing something. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Those are all of the plants that I keep in my bedroom. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you made it all the way to the end, please leave either a plant or dog emoji just so I know that you made it. And it helps out with my channel and the algorithm and just all that good stuff when it comes to YouTube. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Chloe, why are you whining? You don't need attention all the time. I'm putting the camera on your sister. See, she whines because she wants me to be filming her with her paws crossed. Karsten, you're bad. All right. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. What are you girls doing? Are you on my bed? I need to make it, girls. Kona, you enjoying being on Mom's bed? I know Kirsten Stewart is. Nice and luxurious for the pooches. And just update you on any growth. Chloe, stop it. Sorry, my bed is unmade because the girls are relaxing in it. And making out, apparently. They like to kiss each other. But anyway, guys, shush. But anyway, I'm going to take you, guys, shh. Do you see this? I'm trying to film, and they're literally like wrestling / making out. Girls, you gotta calm down. I have to film. Okay, I don't want to hear your little voices in the background. But Kirsten, your eyes look beautiful. Kirsten, you look like an angel. You look like a princess. You're a Jamaican princess angel. She loves to be on camera, even though she doesn't show it.